Hi there, welcome to Prime Time. I'm Paul Orford and I'm back with Maria, the Forex Therapist, and today we're going to speak about the big subject, which is probably a huge thing in the Forex industry and financial industry, burnout. Now, what is burnout? I mean, look, I complain that I'm burnt out because I'm tired, but it's not. I mean, there's so many more factors than that, so could you explain what that is?
Sure. Burnout is a cumulative condition, so it comes out of chronic stress, usually work-related, although you can have burnout out of other factors as well. And it's you know that you're burnt out when you are exhausted, and I don't mean like the normal tiredness that you have after a hard day. It's exhaustion to the point that you don't feel the energy to maybe do basic things after you go home, and you just want to lie down on your sofa and do nothing, or you wake up in the morning after sleeping and you have not actually rested. So it's a feeling of being totally exhausted, first of all. Second, you feel very disengaged from your work. So there's not much that arouses your interest anymore. And you don't, well, in simple words, you don't care.
Yeah.
You're just done caring about it. When you feel, sometimes also burnout has physical symptoms. So you may get headache or stomach ache, IBS. It's famously connected to psychological conditions. So if you have, it's a cluster of symptoms. So and it could be different for you and another person. It could also include symptoms of depression or anxiety. So, but sometimes you could have these conditions at the same time while being burnt out. So I don't know.
So is burnout the same as depression, or what comes? Is it like a chicken and egg thing? Do you get depressed first, you get burnt out, or are you burnt out and then you get depressed? Is there any kind of way that it happens?
It's not the same thing, but they're quite close though. Both can happen because of too much chronic stress. So you can get depressed because of too much chronic stress, but depression has other symptoms that maybe are lacking in burnout. Like depression is characterized by unworthiness. You are feeling very unworthy, with suicidal thoughts, or or maybe guilt. So depression may affect your food intake. You don't want to eat, or you lose weight most of the times, or sometimes you overeat and you put on weight.
Right.
So depression it's a much more let's say serious clinical condition. Burnout is not recognized as a disorder, although recently the World Health Organization recognized it as a syndrome or a condition. They recognize it exists basically. So it's not that serious as depression, but if you obviously have chronic burnout, if you do not do anything about taking care of yourself, it may lead you there at some point.
So how would you take care of yourself? Like, it must be a physical and a mental thing for you to kind of navigate your way through this.
Okay. If first of all, you have to understand what causes the burnout. Because burnout can have different causes. I don't know. Have you ever felt burnt out?
If you look at the classic three boxes to tick, I'd say so. At some point in my life, definitely, especially in this industry. I think when I was younger, had no kids, no wife, etc. I was like working 12 hours a day. I didn't care because I was young. All we were there to do was the job of make money and enjoy yourself at the weekends. And look, it was great until you just finally one day hit the wall. Like, we'd definitely work easy 12 hours a day, Monday to Thursday. Go out Thursday nights, you weren't really sleeping too much. Go to work on Friday, a bit frazzled. And then all the weekends you would kind of enjoy yourself. We used to say release the pressure, but it's not. But your body's not recovering. And it's a very stressful, because naturally it's sales and this and this. So Yeah, probably back then, probably about 15 years ago, I'd say. But you don't. I found I didn't know it until I knew it. If that sounds like, it wasn't something that was on my mind until one day you just hit the wall. You're like, I just need a break, man. Just like one day, bang, and it was like that. So
yeah, maybe you overload yourself. There are too many tasks, too many things to do, not time to take some time to do the things you enjoy. So it can come out of work overload, let's say. It can, when you are in sales and have targets and there is always somewhere to reach, a performance to hit, it can also trigger burnout states. And of course it can be triggered if you feel chronically unappreciated and not recognized or treated unfairly at work. If somebody gets a promotion and you don't. If somebody gets more money and then you do more work, or things like that, where you feel you are not really achieving, you're not really getting anywhere, it's not worth it. Maybe this is it. It's not worth it, all the effort you're putting in. Make you more prone to burnout, and what you're describing is, I don't know, you have worked with sales team before. Do you find that they work overload and they?
Oh no, mine. If I'm honest, mine doesn't really tick any box. Mine's completely greed driven. If I'm honest, where like we would start work 8 a.m, finish work at 10 p.m. But you could have left at 6 if you wanted to. But we were just such driven for money, and that was our drive. Like I say, you're young. You're in a beautiful city, your apartment's paid for, you're living in a great location, you don't want your friend to beat you, or the people, because you're living with the people that you're working with. And it was like a sports team almost. You wanted to be the top of the sports team. I mean, a lot of us, we all hit the same wall at the same time because you could only do it for a year and then we all had to take like 3 or 4 months off. Luckily you had the financial backing to do that, because goodness knows what would happen if you didn't have the money to take 3 or 4 months off and just do nothing, like sit on a beach and get yourself back together. I like a teacher or something, impossible.
That was self-inflicted pressure. You said that I can make more money, I can be better than I am,
Oh yeah, I was a pig.
Okay, so obviously, burnout is related to certain character traits as well. So if you are perfectionistic or too conscientious, or maybe you don't have enough, the opposite, you don't have enough self-confidence, you may be more vulnerable, and get burnt out easier. And there are certain professions obviously that trigger it. Not only sales but other kind of professions as well.
I think also as well, there's a lot of ways, like I say, you can do, or a lot of exercises mentally and physically you can do to keep yourself, or recognise it when it's coming. Because like anything, once you recognise it's coming, you can treat the symptom and hopefully divert it or manage it. Or
you have to recognise why you're in the state. So in your case, for example, that you're telling me, it was because I was pushing myself and I wanted to reach higher.
Greed.
Greed. If you suddenly realize, why am I doing all this? Do I really need all this? Am I actually sacrificing myself for money? So you could just sit back and reflect and think, if you want to change that, and if you wanted to change that, you know that you would have to give more time to yourself, and less time to work. So this is already taking care of yourself, sometimes it's not so much affected by you, so it's because of, as I said before, not being appreciated at work. So if you're not appreciated at work, you have to think 2 things. Firstly, if you tend to feel unappreciated in general, because some people tend to have this feeling. So am I seeing the situation as it is, or maybe am I seeing it through dark glasses? Second, if it's really caused by the situation at work, by a toxic culture or not supportive management, then you have to think, can I change it? Can I get something else? Can I move? If you cannot change it, it's difficult.
No, I agree. I think once you get proactive and you try and change it yourself, then you feel better because you're doing something positive to get things moving. Like you're trying to get out of the dark cave. But you're right, if there isn't any other way, you just literally got to bite the bullet, keep going, I guess, or leave. There's one of two options: keep going or leave. You know.
There is a Viktor Frankl who wrote a very good book, The Man's Search for Meaning, said that when we can no more change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves.
Right.
So if you cannot change the situation, you have to change the way you see it. Maybe focus on the positive things, or focus on how you can actually feel better outside of work. Focus on something else. Find your meaning instead of focusing on the negative and on what you hate about your work.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap it up there. I think after, is it 4 or 5 episodes now, she's starting to make me into a human being. So we're slowly getting there. So what we'll do, me and Maria will be back the next episode, and hopefully you learned something from this, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.